Pleased to welcome Salma Hayek here for the very first time. What? I was just said to you, the power is the ultimate aphrodisiac.
I disagree. I think talent is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Yeah.
You think so?
Nothing turns me on more than talent.
Talent. What was it about her that makes you so, and not only you, but also, as it is said, Jennifer Lopez and Madonna, and perhaps others that are not so frequently mentioned? Tell the story of this artist.
I cannot speak for them. I'm sure we all have different reasons for doing different things. I mean, there is an obvious thing there, which is that it's a very complex character that has a lot of texture and colors, and I mean, everybody talks about how few characters like that are out there for women in general. She was an extraordinary woman, so I'm sure all of us were attracted to them. But my personal reason that, I mean, I had so many, but one of them is her courage to be unique, because she was definitely her own person. She was like no one else I've ever met or read about.
No other woman or no other man?
No one else. I don't think with Frida we should express so much
in
woman.
terms of gender.
But okay, yes, no other woman. And she was not necessarily well accepted, you know. She was strange. Her art was not necessarily liked, but she never changed her style. People didn't like them, they didn't buy them. That didn't matter to her. She painted what she wanted to paint. She was married to Diego Rivera, who was a genius as an artist, and he was very well recognized. But she was not really influenced by him. She evolved, but she never changed her style, whether people liked it or not. She was a bisexual in the 20s, and she never apologized for who she was. She was exactly who she was. And she lived her life her own way. Her relationship, her marriage with Diego was definitely unconventional. People talked about it.
He had lovers, she had lovers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, he had lovers. He was the love of her life. I think at the beginning she tried to change him. When she realized that he wasn't going to change, then she said, okay, well, if it's going to be that way, then I'm going to steal some women from you and have some romance. And did, with other men.
I mean, come on. And you can't beat that for drama, can you?
No.
Your own woman is stealing your woman.
Yeah, yeah. But I think he laughed about it.
He laughed about it?
Yeah, yeah. He celebrated this part of Frida. He wasn't so he was not so comfortable with her male lovers, but he was okay with her female lovers.
Mm. This is the first scene we're going to see where Frida beats Diego and David Alfaro Ciscurius, played by Antonio Banderas, in a drinking duel to dance with Tina, played by Ashley Judd.
Yes.
Here it is.
The rich don't have good taste. They pay someone to have good taste for them. They use you, Diego. And you are too vain to see it.
No!
Basta. Whoever takes the biggest swig can dance with me. Bravo.
I'd rather have an intelligent enemy than a stupid friend.
Shall we?
Tell me who she was, Frida. And why, first, who was she?
She was a Mexican artist.
Right.
She was born in 1907, although she lied, and she said she was born with the revolution in 1910. She had some health problems at an early age. Some people said it was polio. This is what it's like, the common knowledge. There's some doubts about that. but let's say she had polio, she had one leg shorter than the other one. She has an accident when she's around 15 years old, and she broke nearly every bone in her body, and she had one bar from a trolley, it was an accident in a trolley, go inside of her hip and come out of her vagina. And she was in bed for a long time, and they thought maybe she was never going to walk. And as you can see, not only she walked, she danced. She marries Diego Rivera twice, once in 1929 and the other one in 1940. She died at the age of 47 in 1954. She was controversial. She was very passionate. She was politically active. They were communists. She never had children, although she wanted to very badly. What else?
Pretty good. How is it that you, when so many people, I would ask this of them as well, that you're the one that got this movie made? What is it about you, and what did it take to do it?
I can't tell you what it took to do it. Again, I cannot tell you why other people didn't get it done. But one time Gabriel Garcia Marquez told me,
yes,
and it was in relationship with this because he saw me with the struggle. And at one point where I was disheartened, he said to me, the hardest thing is to begin, and you have already begun. And I developed this project in 7 years. It's now 8 years, but from the time I started to the time I did it, 7 years went by of a long process. And what got it done was the conviction in the material and the focus, because we went through many problems, and I have to say the biggest problem was myself, because we could have done this film many times before.
But you were the biggest problem.
I was never satisfied with what was there.
With the script?
Either the script or the group of people involved or the budget or the ideas for the other cast. You know, it was not about, people think that it was just about making the film, but I would have rather not made the film that made the wrong film about this person.
Sure.
And so, do you cook, Charlie?
Not much, no. No, I mean, that's a lie. I don't cook.
There's some recipes that need to marinate.
I understand the concept.
They have a process.
I understand the concept.
If you don't let them sit there and absorb the,
I understand.
the flavors, it's not going to taste well.
It's not going to work. No, it's not going to be as good as it could be.
This is one of those projects that was very difficult to crack into the heart of it, because it's such an epic story that has so much going on in this life. It could have been a movie about so many different things, and it could have been a great movie if you had focused in different areas of their life or of her life. But just to find what's the theme of the movie, because when you do a biography, the only way it's going to work is if you find one theme, one spine that everyone can identify with. For example, Amadeus, which is a movie I love.
Me too.
I adore. It's the life of Mozart, but it's really a movie about envy.
And jealousy, yeah.
And jealousy. So in this ocean of big events that are so seductive, because you want to put all these like great stories and dramatic moments, but that's all they would have been, moments. What is the story you want to tell? And then how to tell it, and ultimately you have to find the perfect, and this was the ingredient that made the difference, the filmmaker. I think
so finding Julie Taymor was an essential ingredient.
Essential, yes.
So once you found her,
yes,
it began to be ready to take out of the oven.
But to take it to her, we had to get to a certain point.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it, do you think, because she is, I hate to ask this, and I'm just embarrassed, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Please, ever be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Just ask it. Was the fact that she was a woman make it better? Make a difference in making the film? Did she have insights about Frida that others might not have had in conjunction with you? Should we say anything about the fact that this is a story about a woman told by a woman, in which obviously a woman plays the central character?
Edited by a woman.
And edited by a woman, too.
Produced by a woman.
Produced by a woman. Yeah.
I think, yes, there's an element to that. But she's a lot more than just a woman for this project. But,
Julie Taymor.
Oh, my God.
Well,
She's a life force.
Did you two get along?
Oh, yes.
Are you sure?
Oh, positively.
From the beginning to the end?
Yes.
Did you fight?
Not really.
Not ever?
It was
She
so
is not a shrinking
amazing.
violet, we know.
It was so
She's not a shrinking violet.
Neither am I.
I can imagine.
It was so amazing how we connected. We had the same vision. Do you understand the relief? When I first met her and sat on that couch, and we talked for 4 hours nonstop about this subject matter. And I got high from listening to her, you know. It was like the perfect match. The only fights Julie and I had, which were very few, were about, I think it should be 2 flowers. No, just 1 flower. I think this earrings, no, you know, there was
So you had the same read on Frida?
Yes.
You had the same read on the story you wanted to tell?
And I think it was important that it was her because she's not just a woman, she's an artist. So who better to understand the spirit of a female artist than a female artist? But I'm sorry, I have to say one more thing about Julie Taymor. I don't want to monopolize this conversation, Charlie, but this is...
But you're doing a good job.
But it's so exciting, I can't stop. You can ask me a question like that and then ask me to stop in the middle
I'm not
of it.
asking you to stop. Go.
She was able to create a painting that moves with this film. She was able to explore into Frida's imagination, which was a parallel life that Frida Kahlo had, and probably her first language, because she said, you know, Breton tells her that she's a surrealist. She says, I'm not a surrealist, I paint my own reality. And I believe that she had this parallel reality where the first language was a visual language that was so vibrant with life, with death, with colors. And what makes the film interesting is Julie Taymor's adventure into this imagination, bringing those paintings to life, using them as a vehicle to get into her emotional journey. And I think she did an extraordinary job with it.
It's the film you wanted to make.
Yes.
It is.
And I
so you can watch this movie and say, look,
Taymor.
that's the movie we intended to make. If you don't like it, then sorry, it's what we meant to make. We got no excuses. We put on the screen what was in our hearts and our head.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And also what came out of the pen of Edward Norton.
Yes.
Who didn't get a credit.
Exactly.
Because of some silly fight with the Writers Guild or somebody.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's all we're going to say about that?
Oh, no, we can talk about plenty.
Got to defend her man, isn't she?
No, I got to defend my writer.
Your writer?
Yes. If
he actually came, what was the difference between what he did and what all the others did?
Structure.
Dialogue.
Julie Taymor's vision. You know, Julie Taymor never worked with anyone else.
Oh,
That's
she did.
the only writer she
The only writer
worked
she ever
with
talked to was
Edward
Norton.
How about 7 drafts?
7 drafts before it got to him, or 7 drafts by him?
By him. That was the only writer that touched that
Had
script.
he ever written anything before?
Yes.
A screenplay?
Yes. Ask me if he got credit ever.
Did he get credit on that one?
No.
But he must be a pretty good writer. I mean, if he delivered what you thought was necessary.
You think I would have given him my baby if I didn't think he was a good writer? No way.
You wouldn't have.
Oh, no.
It wasn't just being kind to the guy that you love and admire so much.
No, there's other ways to be kind to your guy. This was a professional thing. It was an important
I mean, you were not going to risk.
decision.
You were not going to risk your baby without the best possible screenplay you could find.
Yes, and I
you
knew
spent
he
too
could
much of
do
your
it.
life and too much of your reputation, and you had too much riding on doing well
Yeah.
here.
And a lot of really smart people around me, like Julie and Miramax, that would have, yeah.
What do you hope this does? In other words, and what is it? Is there a statement in you doing this? The fact that you seized it, that you ran with it, that you begged, borrowed, stole, and sweat for this?
I did not steal. This was mine. I did not beg. I didn't have to. But
Did you work hard?
I worked so hard. Do I want to make a statement?
Does it make a statement that somehow, if you really, here's the statement I think you would like, maybe it makes, which is that, you know, in the end, you have to define yourself. In the end, if you believe you have a story within you to tell, then you have to, you have to get started, as Gabriel said to you. Gabriel said to you, yeah. So you got to get started and just got to do it. And you can't let anybody stop you. Because in the end, you have to do it. In the end...
I have a lot of personal statements, but I think the movie itself goes beyond my whatever dramas or hopes.
Right.
I think the movie on its own, without me, makes a lot of statements that what is exciting for me about it is that it doesn't really manipulate you into one thing or another. I have experienced that different people get different things out of the movie. And that's exciting. But I do have a lot of, personal pleasures that came with the film.
Like?
Some are more mischievous than others.
Like?
Gosh, there's so many. For example, the satisfaction of not sitting and complaining and whining about the things I don't get because somebody is not handing them to me, but getting up and getting them done instead of whining. For example, this one's a little bit more mischievous.
Okay, let's hear this one.
The satisfaction of doing a movie that I think it's very thought-provoking on its own, but it's a challenge for a lot of people who have a preconception of who, forget about me, of who Mexicans are or what Mexico is. And I think they have to see this movie and they have to reconsider this image. And that's a personal satisfaction.
So here you are. This is a film about two communists, a woman who's a bisexual, a man who's a womanizer, two artists in Mexico with all of the color and vibrancy and spirit of that great country. I mean, this is an easy movie to make, isn't it?
It's an easy movie to watch.
To watch.
It sounds complicated. It's a lot more complicated than it sounds, but it's very accessible.
Okay, what was the hardest thing for you in terms of getting hold of her, and how did you prepare to get into this role?
It was so long. For 7
or
years.
what?
No, for 7 years I did so much research on it. By the time it was time to do it, I felt like those horses that are about to go for a race. They open the gate and you're just so happy to be able to run. I had 7 years of preparation for the film. Yeah. And also, she made it easy for me because a lot of the people that she was close to are still alive, so I got to talk to them a lot.
And what did they say?
They said different things, but mostly they all said she was very warm, and she had a wonderful sense of humor.
And very attractive.
Yes. You're saying it as a joke.
No, I'm not saying it as a joke.
She was
Why would I
hairy
joke
but
about
beautiful.
That? She was hairy but beautiful.
Yes, a lot of people think she was very, very attractive. I also have the paintings. The diary was so helpful. Letters, so many letters. The music that she listened to. And I created a book for some time where I collected every picture ever taken of her and I put them in chronological order, and I learned a lot from that too.
All right, take a look at this. This is the official wedding portrait of Frida and Diego in August of 1929. There you go. There she is. There he is. And the next is a self-portrait with Monkey and Parrot, 1942. And finally, there is Frida in San Francisco in 1931. God, you almost look alike.
Not today, but
Well,
I
not
can.
today, but I mean, your hair is back.
The same
Yeah.
bone structure.
Yeah, exactly.
And the eyes and the mouth.
Yeah. Are you already working on another movie?
I directed my first movie.
So what's going on with you?
I'm promoting and in post-production and just dreaming of a vacation.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. I don't know where I want to go. I think I want to go scuba diving.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it before?
Yes.
So you liked it?
I like it very
It's a way to
much.
go into a very quiet place.
Yes. Yes.
Much success with it.
Thank you
Salma.
very much.
It's great to have you on the
It's been
program.
such a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you.
you.